It's my turn. I do have lots of paper, but I don't write big. You're in for a ride. Just there. Hello, yes, I am the best man. It is nice to have that acknowledged by a room of total strangers and mid-level acquaintances. For those of you who don't know me, well done. It is only downhill from here. I'm Josh. I am Jack's older brother. And you may be wondering why I'm all the way over here. Traditionally, the best man is seated at the table of honour. But this is a rare circumstance resulting from the... It might be a revolting circumstance, I don't know. I don't pry. This is a rare circumstance resulting from the frankly phenomenal number of parents that a married couple has. 7 parents? That's selfish. Give some to the orphans. So it turns out there was not enough room on that table. So I'm sat over here with the plebs. Rude. I knew that. Jack has privately confessed to me that he's very confident this speech will go well. As I am a professional writer, writing speeches is quite literally my job. But what he failed to account for in his characteristically wild hubris and foolish arrogance is the fact that I usually get paid to write those stories. And here all they've offered me is a glass of Prosecco and the second best table. So I'm going to wing it. I've got notes. I first need to thank whoever it was that found this speech, because I left it in the church. I didn't realise that we could do as the priest did and just use an iPad. So I got it all printed off all nice. But it's here now, thank goodness. When Jack first asked me to be his best man, I was bowled over. Truly, genuinely honoured and incredibly, immensely humbled. But my first thought was, he doesn't have very many friends, does he? We spent a grand total of 15 minutes talking to each other in the last decade. This was the first time he'd ever called my phone on purpose. And he was asking me to be his best man. So I did what any good millennial does, and I panicked. And consulted the internet. Where I found much helpful advice from sites such as www.bestmanadvice.com, www.helpforbestman.net, couldn't afford the com, I guess, and I swear this is true, www.doyourbestman.com, which had this spicy nugget of wisdom to offer. It is always best to start your speech with how you met the groom. Wait for it. Feel free to twist the truth a little if it makes the story more entertaining. No one will mind if a few bits are made up. So with that in mind, I first met my little brother Jack on a business trip to Shanghai. He was an intriguing young man with jet black hair, a vicious scar over his left eye, and an eye patch covering the other one. We struck up a conversation over some airplane peanuts and quickly hit it off. Little did I know that his suitcase contained several passports with fake identities, an 8-ball of cocaine, and a fully loaded pistol. It really was a weekend to remember, and we've been firm friends ever since. Of course not. I don't actually remember meeting Jack, but I do have a very clear memory of being annoyed I had to stop playing Pokemon one day so my mum could go scream in a room for a bit and produce yet another sibling who was only going to divide the parental attention even further. I was a very resentful child. My earliest memory of Jack is actually the funniest one. So settle in, this is where the speech peaks in quality, and then it will fall downhill from here, it gets a bit mediocre, and you've got 10 minutes left, so good luck. At the tender age of 8, while minding my own business at home, I was busy being great in a corner somewhere. I was startled by this horrifying, blood-curdling shriek. You know those screaming goats? The ones that sound like you've just murdered their whole family in front of them, but they're just saying hello. The ones that are just like, ah, like the screaming goats. One of those horrible shrieks. And there's this sort of muffled fighting sound going on upstairs. This banging and cracking, and it sounded like water was spilling all over the floor, and I was utterly convinced that a murderer had broken into the house to steal my Pokemon cards. So I legged it upstairs to the bathroom to find our mum. She's that mum there. Doubled over laughing. Little baby Jack, he's like 3 or 4 or something, and he's in a bath and he's just screaming. Panic. And I say, Mum, what's going on? What is broken in that weird, naked toddler's brain? And she goes, she's still laughing, she goes, I spilled some dye in the bath by accident. As if that explained anything. None of this makes any sense to me. Until he, sweet little toddler Jack, he's standing himself up in the bath and he's like pinning himself against the wall. I shouldn't have done that and looked away from my notes. He's pinning himself against the wall and he screams, either at me or Mum or God. He screams, get me out. If I touch the dye, I might die. So I guess we knew early on he wasn't going to be the brightest family. Which is of course not true. He is of course smarter than me, we all know this, because he did not choose to work in the arts. And he's smarter than Hannah because he chose not to marry into the arts. Can I get a shout out for working in the arts?
Woo.
I was so proud to see him prove his intellect and ambition when he went to Manchester University to get really drunk with weirdos for 3 years. Sorry, yeah, shout out to the weirdos. He actually went to get an archaeology degree, and the weirdos was sort of an extracurricular thing. I was equally proud to see him put all he learned in that archaeology degree to very good use when he decided to work in pensions. That sounds like a joke, but to be fair, you do have to know a lot about fossils. There is the one politics joke for you all. Old people have money and I'm angry about it. www.blessedman.com states that, quote, once you have warmed the crowd up with some jokes about the groom, it is often good to introduce a funny story about the groom and the bride. Always see if the bride has anything to say about their future husband. So I'd like to read for you now the text exchange I had on that subject with a certain Alison Balaam. 26th of May, 6:49 p.m. Hi Alison, I'm working on the speech at the moment. Do you have any funny stories about Jack I can tell that won't offend anyone? The end. Nothing! She gave me nothing! She saw the text. It was marked as read. Nothing. Which tells me one of two things. Either nothing funny has ever happened between these two. No stories of the awkward first meeting where you forget each other's names but you still want to snog. No stories of him choking on a profiterole during their first date. No funny moment when she found out he likes Warhammer and had to debate whether this whole marriage thing was worth getting into. Nothing. Or, what there is to tell is so deeply offensive, so soul-destroyingly crude and uncouth, that not even I, the scabbiest member of the family, could hear it and not die of shame. I choose to believe the latter. I will end now, pause for sigh of relief. I will end now with a final bit of advice from the wedding speech experts at www.stressedman.com. I swear to God, these are all real. A best man speech is best when spent making fun of the groom and ending with something nice about the couple. Never make fun of the bride, with 2 exclamation marks. never make fun of the bride. So when I first met Alison, she was this tiddly little thing in pink glasses who outright refused to make eye contact with me. I travelled home from a visit in the promised land, Hull. Get a shout out for Hull.
Woo.
Excellent. Travelled down from Hull, where I live, and my mum, that one over there, she'd called me saying, "Oh, Jack has a new girlfriend, and she'll be over, so you'll get to meet her. She's very lovely, but she can be quite shy, so be nice." And the only memory I have of that encounter was walking through the door, Jack in his usual commanding tone going, "Hey, this is my girlfriend Alison." Me saying hi, and her nodding at the floor and then bolting upstairs. Now, I wrote this off as very understandable. For those of you who don't know me, I don't always dress like this. Generally, I'm not really a suit guy. I usually go for more of a homeless chic look. Long hair, scraggly beard, shorts. I look like a crackhead Bill Bailey. About 5 years ago. So it made sense to me that maybe she'd been intimidated and run away. But that evening, I hung out downstairs with my mum. Same mum as before, yeah. So actually, to be fair, all of the mums were the same. I could have just, wouldn't have been good for the joke. I ask her, "So, does Alison ever talk?" And Mum goes, "Not really, no." She says, "In fact, she's really quiet all the time. And you don't really see either of them talking to each other that much. But when they're upstairs, in Jack's bedroom with the door closed, all you can hear, get your mind out of the gutter. All you can hear is laughing. Laughing and laughing and shouting and video games and politics and noise. She's shy, and he's shy too, but they do sound happy together when no one else is around." So I really look forward to all of us buggering off. But that was 7 years, 8 years maybe. No, well, no, I didn't meet you straight away.
No.
I put a question mark next to it, which meant check, but I didn't. That was an indeterminable amount of years ago. Lost to history. And I remember thinking, well, that's it then. They're set for life. I hope the best man's funny. So all that remains to say before we all do that cheers and we get to see whose dad is the worst drunk dancer and whose cousin is going to puke first. I'm taking bets. Clearly, it's on him. Come see me after. All that remains to say is, I am super proud of you, my little dude. Once, when you were really young, I told you I wanted to be a movie star. And you said, "I just want to get a job, get married, have a kid and all that stuff." So 2 out of 3 so far, my man. Name it after me. Don't, it's an awful name. I'm not going to say that you look great together, or that it's wonderful to see you both so happy, because that would imply that it's ever not the case, which is untrue. You have always seemed great together. I have never seen you both look anything less than perfectly, unstoppably happy with one another. I couldn't be more psyched to see how your love and care and all that nonsense grows, to see how your bond strengthens as you get older, fatter and balder. It's coming, Jack. Look at me, I am your future. I cannot wait to see how many more weird, deaf, blind cats you adopt. And I have every faith that you will always make me proud, Hannah proud, all these weirdos I've never met proud, and of course your 17 parents proud. Please join me in a toast to the bride and groom, the happiest couple I've ever seen, and the only reason I've had to go to Manningtree for 15 years. Or ever again. I love you, dude. Right, get drunk.